She heard that?
No.
Hang on, she's IFBing up. Yes, sir. Mic check 1 2 1 3. Checking mic 1 2 1 3. Dalford's mic. Mic check 1 2 1 3. Anytime.
Hello. 1 2 3 4 5. 1 2 3. Yes, I got you. And then we'll go to
Oh, look, they're in the neighborhood.
weather. Oh, and then we have Ron Lee.
Get that tape after you.
Drone video.
Not in this cutting, yeah.
Oh, okay. No.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'll hold that while you get the live up and running.
Huh?
I'll do this while you get the live.
42, 16, 12. That's correct.
The mic's in your face, but here-ish, because otherwise the mic's not going.
Not the lower notch. Shelly.
Can we lower that?
Hey, Quincy, can we just lower that one?
No, you're good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody saying the same thing about the same time. Lower the top one.
Yes.
Something like that.
Okay. Just want to make
That's
sure.
how I gotta lower it. That's straight.
Yep, you're good now, bro.
We good now?
Yep.
Yes, sir. Thank you. We good? Yep. It's not very
Ray Rock.
Hello.
We are coming on the air with breaking news. Right now, law enforcement is giving an update on the mass shooting in Catawba County overnight. Thank you for joining us. I'm Natisha Lance.
And I'm Delford Jones. We're being told that one person is dead and 11 people are hospitalized. Investigators say the shooting happened around 12:45 this morning at a house party on Walnut Acres Drive. That's in the Mountain View community just south of Hickory near Highway 321.
Our crews are live on the scene hearing from law enforcement, and a
North
press
Carolina
conference
State
is
Bureau of
underway
Investigations.
right now. Let's take a listen.
Federal Bureau of Investigations, the ATF, has been nothing less than remarkable. I want everyone to know that we are going to work together tirelessly and diligently to identify the individuals responsible for this act. It is times like this that partnerships and relationships with our community and our law enforcement is so important. I'm going to defer to Major Turk.
Thanks, Sheriff Brown. I'm Aaron Turk. I'm a major with the Sheriff's Office here in Catawba County, also the Public Information Officer for the Sheriff's Office. I'll offer some information to you about what brought us here, the current status of our investigation, and where we're anticipating going with that investigation. You'll probably have some questions after I offer that. We're going to have some other speakers. Just let those speakers finish first, and then we'll take your questions at the end. So last night around 11 p.m., we received a noise complaint from the residents that later suffered the shooting incident. Our deputies responded to that complaint, addressed the controlling parties there at the residence about the noise, and left a short time later. At 12:45 this morning, the same residents, we received multiple 911 calls about a shooting. Those calls reported multiple persons being shot at the location that's down the street here. When our deputies arrived, also Hickory police officers arrived, they discovered what ended up being 12 people shot. One of the 12 was deceased on scene. Another of those 12 was critically injured and is presently at the hospital in Charlotte, or one of the hospitals in Charlotte. The others were treated at area hospitals. Some have been released. Others are still receiving treatment. We have partnered in this investigation with the State Bureau of Investigation here in North Carolina, as well as the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Those agencies are helping us process the crime scene, generate leads, As everybody knows, this day and time, there's a lot that goes on in social media. They're helping with that, and you'll hear more from the FBI on point about that in particular. We have many investigators that are down the hill at the incident location, still working on the scene, still generating leads. As the sheriff said, we are certainly hopeful to find those that are responsible and bring them here to justice. Again, I'll come back and answer your questions as we go through this further. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is James Barnacle. I'm the special agent in charge here in North Carolina FBI office. The people of North Carolina should be able to enjoy a spring evening. Unfortunately, violent crime came to the countryside here. It impacts people all over the United States. The FBI's #1 priority is to crush violent crime. Whether we are doing that in partnership, as we are doing here, supporting our local partners, Catawba Sheriff's Office and the State Bureau of Investigation, or the FBI when we lead investigations, make no mistake, we will mitigate the violent crime problem here in the United States, in particular North Carolina. What we're doing in this particular situation is we are supporting this investigation. We are bringing resources. We have victim services specialists meeting with victims of the shooting last night. They are at the hospitals meeting with victims. We have FBI special agents helping with leads, investigations, and processing the crime scene. We have evidence response teams. They are here on site as well, and they are taking pictures. They are looking at trajectories of bullets, and they're helping to collect the evidence that's on scene. Also, the FBI is setting up a tips line, a digital tips line. Anyone that was at this party should go to the FBI.gov website, and there will be a digital tips line shortly. We're going to do a press release as well that will have that information for you all. Anyone has any information, anyone that was here last night, should call 911 or call the FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI. We'll take questions later, but I'd like to turn it over to Special Agent in charge of the State Bureau of Investigation. Okay.
Good afternoon. My name is Angie Key. I'm a special agent in charge of the SBI. I'm out of the Hickory District Office, the Northwestern District. Our agency was requested by the Catawba County Sheriff's Office. We are providing crime scene assistance, investigative assistance as far as interviews. We've had our intel folks step up and provide assistance with that as well. We're continued to help with this case as far as assisting local, state, federal agencies. Like it's already said before, we're here until we can figure out who done this. So if anybody has any information they'd like to pass along, there'll be some resources at the end that you guys can reach out to. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Scott Riley. I'm the district attorney for Burt, Caldwell, and Catawba counties. And I'd also like to offer my deepest condolences to the families of all of the victims involved. They have all had their lives just drastically altered and changed forever by this senseless act of violence. And I would just like to thank all of our law enforcement partners for their very swift response and working tirelessly around the clock to investigate this tragedy. I have full confidence in their abilities and that they will hold and bring the people responsible to justice. Thank you.
All right, we'll take any questions now. Glenn?
Yeah, do you have an idea how many shooters you were looking for, and were they already at this alleged party, or did some of them come up after the fact?
Our investigation indicates more than one shooter was involved in the incident. We are still working to determine when they arrived, how they arrived, and what the reasoning was for their presence, also the motive.
Were they shooting at each other?
We're not releasing that information at this time.
Just to confirm, there haven't been any arrests yet, and could you speak to the difficulty in trying to piece that together and find people to hold responsible for this?
No arrest at this time as of this briefing. It certainly, in circumstances where there's a large gathering of people that have come for some common event like a party, nobody lives here, no one's local to here, they all leave. We're trying to track those people down. We've interviewed a lot of people this morning, about 70 or so. Still looking to interview more people that were here. And it has been difficult to find those people and to encourage people that might not have the inclination to be truthful to otherwise help us out in this investigation.
Do you have an idea of the age ranges of some of the, like the party that was happening here? kids, teenagers, adults? What kind of mix of people were at this party you gathered so far?
It's fair to say it was a mix of people. We have identified some people that were here that were under the age of 21 in their teenage years, and then persons in their 20s and older.
Any idea in terms of, was it the noise that sparked this, or what sparked this?
Candidly, we don't know. We're searching for the motive, using all of our resources, trying to establish a motive and then find those responsible. It doesn't appear to have been the noise. Other factors and animosity between parties, we're looking into all that that might be out.
Have you identified the victim who has been pronounced deceased, and can you share that information with us at this time?
We have identified that person. I'm going to send that out in a release on email just as soon as we finish, so I can make sure I get all of that correct for you.
Any reason to think this is linked to any other crimes that y'all have been investigating in the past, any other criminal elements? Because a lot of these things kind of end up meshing together ultimately.
We don't have any specific leads as I stand here that would take us in that direction. We certainly have not ruled that out, though, and we're looking at every possibility.
Given the number of agencies that are involved and the numbers that are actually focused on the crime scene, can you talk about how complicated a scene is it, and how challenging is that going to be in terms of resolving this case?
In my experience, this is a complicated scene. It spans several separate individual pieces of property. I would say it's larger than 2 acres in total sum, and both inside and outside crime scenes. And we still have the SBI and the FBI processing the scene along with our detectives, and we anticipate them being here throughout the evening, possibly into the night.
Were these people shooting at each other at close range, or was it much farther apart, or was there a variety there?
It was varying distances.
Can you provide any details on the weapons or weapons used in the shooting?
There were multiple weapons used. We're not releasing specific weapons at this time. We're hopeful that those that might have that information, only they have it, we'll try to get it from them.
Can you say whether some of those were long guns?
We believe some were, yes, sir.
How many shots fired would you estimate?
We are still recovering shell casings and trying to piece that together. As I stand here, more than 80 shots were fired.
Just to reassure neighbors, would you say this was a targeted incident, something that happened between two parties, and not something that was just a random act of violence?
We don't believe that this was random in a circumstance that might endanger the community. All that we can see right now from the crime scene and the leads that we're following, it seems to be that those that initiated the shooting were focused on the folks at the party.
How frustrating is this to try and piece this together? So many people here, so much senseless violence. How frustrating is this?
It's definitely frustrating from an investigative perspective, but again, the important thing for us is to find those responsible and to bring them to justice. We will spend days, nights, weeks, whatever it might take to find those responsible and hold them accountable.
Can you just kind of speak to emotions to have something like this happen in your jurisdiction?
I'll let Sheriff Brown talk on that. Emotions that we might be feeling.
Sure, absolutely. It's again, it is frustrating. This is not a common act or an incident that occurs here in Catawba County. We live in a great community, and this is something that is extremely rare. Again, I talked to some neighbors here. They are visibly upset, and to our staff that works these types of cases, it's very difficult. It's taxing on them. They've been out here all night. We're calling in other resources, and it's just it's emotional to everyone involved. But for me as the sheriff, my responsibility is the safety and security of our citizens, and that's what bothers me the most, is when we can't prevent something like this, and all we can do is find the people responsible and hold them accountable.
There's a lot of teachers who have commented on our social media page concerned that their students might have somehow been subjected or witness to this violence. Anything you could say to just how young some kids are who are being exposed to this type of violence right now, not knowing anything about the suspects of this?
Well, not with just this incident. We're seeing more and more violence with our youth and our young folks, and whether it's them actually committing the crimes or the people that they're victimizing, So it certainly has an effect on those folks. And as Major Turk said, I think it was D.A. Riley said that these people's lives have been changed forever, and it's memories that they're going to have that's going to affect them for the rest of their lives.
You guys mentioned the noise complaint earlier that you responded to. I'm just curious, was there anything leading up to this that you guys have had to address to come down here and talk to these folks about that might have given some hint that something like this might be possible?
I'll let Major Turk address that question.
Nothing we've identified so far that we think is a direct link to this incident. We did again address a noise complaint issue at that home. I believe it was loud music earlier in the evening. We can't find a direct tie from that call to this. The people that were supplying the music turned it down, and we can't find a link right now.
Last question.
Just to follow up on that, I'm assuming that is not an unnormal occurrence. If law enforcement gets called out for a noise complaint, you can't predict what's going to happen afterwards, right?
Yes, those are regular calls that we receive, and again, we're not finding a link from that call to this right now. Thank you very much.
So we're working on that tip line when we get it set up.
There you have it, folks. The latest on this mass shooting in Catawba County. We had a chance to hear from several members of the law enforcement community. I'll start with Sheriff Don Brown, who spoke to us first. And one thing he identified, Natisha, was the partnerships, how important they are in this and why they brought in additional reinforcements like the FBI and the SBI.
Right, and the FBI is going to be processing the scene. They say the scene is very large, 2 acres, so they could be out there through the night, they said, processing the scene. But also want to reiterate, 12 people were shot, 1 person dead, 1 in critical condition who was taken to a hospital in Charlotte, still there. Others who were injured, some have been released from the hospital, which is good news, and others are still receiving treatment. The person who died, they have identified that person. They're going to release the identity of that person a little later on today. So once we have that, we will be pushing that out to you. Also, they mentioned no arrest as of yet. However, they are saying they do not believe there is any threat to the community. They believe that this was something that was targeted possibly for the people who were at this party. They've also interviewed 70 people already, so that just shows how much work they've already accomplished just within those few hours since this happened.
FBI also asking anyone who may have been at that party to contact them. You can dial 1-800-CALL-FBI to give them your statement. I'm sure they'll get you in for a formal interview to try and piece together what happened here. Like Letitia said, 2 acres. They're still out there taking photos, collecting evidence. But one thing they also mentioned that they're determined to find out who's responsible for the shooting.
Yeah, absolutely. And also 80 shots fired. That's just what they've been able to determine so far. They're still collecting shell casings, so that number may change as we go on. But of course, we will bring you every update as we learn it. This is a story we're going to continue to follow all evening long as new updates come in. So make sure you download the free WBTV News app to get the latest details on the situation, as well as other breaking news. All you have to do is search WBTV in your phone's app store.
Turning now to your forecast, we're tracking chances for showers and storms throughout the WBTV region today. First Alert meteorologist Alicia Wilson is joining us from the Weather Center.
That's right. Go ahead, Alicia. I was going to say, what do we need to know?
Well, we have a cold front that's slowly sagging towards the south here. It was stalled out, but now it's on the move. So we are tracking some scattered showers and a few thunderstorms out there. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning that's actually out of our area at the moment. This one's impacting Chatham, Moore, and Randolph County. So if you're making an eastward travel or trip for the rest of this afternoon or evening, that's where we're actually seeing a severe thunderstorm. It's pushing towards the east now at about 15 miles per hour. We don't have any severe thunderstorm warnings currently across the Charlotte metro area.